We just finished shooting a fantasy film in Norway, and lighting was one of the key aspects to create the cinematic look that we wanted. For the project, we used lamps from Godox, particularly the UL150 and the VL300. The film required many different scenes with different looks, and this really made use of the versatility of the lamps. The UL150 was especially important for us when shooting inside. This light is ultra quiet thanks to its fanless design. This is important when the microphones are close to the lamps. Yet even without fans, the light is powerful enough to brighten up big rooms. The UL150 has a CRI rating of 96 and a TLC rating of 97, giving it very accurate colors. It gives you great control when dimming from 0 to 100%, adjusted via the controller box or even wirelessly with a remote. We used the VL300 when we needed a bit more luminance, particularly outdoors. At 300 watts, this was what we needed to lighten up many of the scenes in the forest. Most of the time we used a generator, so we could power the lights of normal DC power. However, there were a couple of times when we couldn't bring a generator, so we used the option to power it through V-mount batteries, which was really convenient. As with the UL150, the VL300 has a CRI rating of 96 and a TLCI rating of 97, so we didn't have to worry about the colors being off. For the first indoor scenes, we wanted to create a soft light across the board. This is why we used a lot of white sheets. By aiming bright lights on these sheets, you get an even and big light source for a soft look. Okay, so we are at the party scene, and as you can see, Emil is ready to party.
Bed sheets, this works really well because it has texture to it.
Texture,
so,
yes, of course. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and it also blends all the light very evenly throughout the room. So if you just have one source like this, it's quite easy to get like the general exposure up in the room just by using one sheet. Yeah. This is supposed to be cold, like the moon, and then I'll try to balance that out on the left-hand side. Heavily CTO, so it would be a kick.
And we talked about, having this guy sitting here, being a little bit pointed towards the blue moonlight, so maybe a bit cold. And when the girl comes in, the woman that he really loves, he turns against the warm light. Exactly. So just give a little bit feeling of, oh my God, my heart is warming now.
We also use Godox softboxes to create soft light, but with a bit more edge than the big sheets. Both of the lights are daylight colored with a temperature of 5600 Kelvin. If we needed to warm up the light, we put on an orange gel. For example, in this attic scene, we had a cold light from the VL300 shining through the window, illustrating a cold moonlight. To get it this high up, we had to use a lift. And to add some atmosphere in the room, we used a hazer. Then we used a UL150 with a warm gel and a china bowl in order to fill the actors' faces with warm light. This light was used to imitate this light bulb practical in the scene. This creates a nice contrast between the cold outdoor and the warm indoor. For the outdoor scenes, we used mostly the VL300 as we needed as much light as possible. In the forest, we used it mainly as a soft fill light, or to create a bit of pop in the faces of the actors. The most challenging outdoor scene in terms of lighting was the campfire scene. Again, we used the contrast between warm and cold to create interesting colors in the scene. The VL300 was again used as a moonlight. This time it was reflected off a piece of styrofoam to spread the light out more. And then we used a diffuser to tone down the light a bit to make it more realistic. This time the warmer light on the actors was created by the natural fire. It's a wrap, we're finally done. 5 days of intense shooting. If you want to see the full behind the scenes on how we created a fantasy short film using these lamps, check out the Andy X YouTube channel. Bye!